Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Carousel Show. My name is CoasterCat, aka Roller Coaster Writer. I'm here with the person who I'm going to infect, KD.
Hey,
And I
you
just
better
got
not
back.
infect me.
Yeah, you make more than I do. I don't care. And I apologize for my cold. I still have it. Whoever gave this to me, to quote Squirrel Talk, you are on my list of things to exterminate. But basically, I've been putting it off until I was better. But, I kind of need more YouTube cash, so I'm being blunt. So, I went on a trip recently, about 20 through the 27th, so about, 8 days? 8 days, but if you also include getting there and coming back, more like 9, 10 days. Where I went to London with a certain group. I I want to put this on various places, so I'm not allowed to say exactly what the group is. I would love to. I have nothing against this group, but other groups have a thing where you shouldn't bring up other groups because that's like advertising for another company or for a competitor. Even though I have nothing against either company. One of them starts with an A, the other one starts with a C. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So my buddy KD, um, essentially, it's just gonna be me talking about the parks that I did in England. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and maybe I'll do a part 2 show where me and Kay are gonna, because she went on this trip as well. We'll answer a bunch of them. Uh, don't ask us about driving. Don't ask us about the exchange rate or hotels, because we were with a group, so they took care of 90% of it. So yeah, I'll just talk about what I did. And KD, you ready to sit in the chair?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay. So basically,
Did you cough up a lung?
like I said, on my list of things to exterminate. Basically, Kay and I, we left our, what the heck, mansion.
Hotel?
No, we left our mansion where we live
Oh, in where you live. I see.
at about 5 6 7 p.m. It was, no, 5 6. Who cares? You can tell my dedication to this. And then we got chauffeured because it was cheaper than parking at O'Hare Airport. And then we went to British Air. I got a sandwich, got some chips, took some NyQuil cold medicine, and it was a wonderful flight
Because you were sleeping?
because I was passed out for most of it. Um, I did wake up. Uh, Weird food. I think I ate. What did I eat? I think I ate some beef, some rice, and then some curry. And then a cupcake, I think.
On the plane?
Yeah, that was the meal.
Oh, okay.
And then the breakfast item was essentially just like a really big fig Newton.
Oh.
Um, Heathrow Airport is much larger than O'Hare Airport,
Really?
but on the bright side, they've got a bunch of escalators and elevators, and yeah. Uh, Going through, what is it? Immigration. Much easier in the UK than it was in Mexico. For one thing, we could read most of the words. No offense to Mexicans, but we're we're ignorant Americans. Sorry. Um, Also, right there, we immediately exchanged $300 for pounds. So, like, I don't know, like, pound is 150 American? Something like that. I don't know. I didn't. Kay was in charge of the finance. Um, and even though I had slept for about maybe 6 hours or so on the flight, and it was awesome because not only were there TVs, but the middle seat wasn't used.
Oh,
So we were able to put up our armrests and like stretch.
bonus.
Kay even tried to like lay down, so but she was unsuccessful because there was someone in front of her and someone in back of her. But here's the thing: the people in front of her and behind her,
Mm-hmm.
they could have easily sat in the middle seat. She could have just said something, but she didn't. Typical, right? Then we took a train just to take a double decker bus to the hotel, and I don't remember who this lady is, but this lady helped us because she was because in the twist of fate when we were going to the Holiday Inn Ariel, that lady was going there as well to check out. So we were like, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's my other work. And then we checked into the hotel. Um, yeah. And then what else? What happened afterwards? Then we slept for a couple of hours. Then we got up. We mingled with a bunch of people. Um,
From Ace.
no, from the group that I was with.
Oh, I see.
By the way, I am an ACE member, so don't think I'm talking bad. But yeah, we met up with a bunch of people. There was a certain person that I should I just drop name drop?
It's up to you.
I really wanted to meet Drew the intern because I listened to the In the Loop podcast and he's so hilarious.
And
And I was a little afraid to meet him because I was worried he was gonna kick me. I also got to meet. I don't remember if it was there that night, but Dan the T-shirt guy and his that's his name, and his coaster riding partner in crime, Coaster Crazy Aunt Sue. That's that's what people call her. Not once during the trip did I call her that. I called her like either Sue or Cool Aunt Sue or stuff like that. Not she hmm she she could sew really good. Yeah, she sewed. Okay.
we see.
Mm-hmm. She was really good.
It appears such.
So then we basically got some sleep. Everyone, because we were all staying at that hotel for night one. I wanted to do the London Eye on this trip. I was unsuccessful because apparently the London Eye has like a 3 hour wait most days.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if the Navy Pier Ferris wheel is like that too, but that's a little weird.
How long again did you say?
like 3-hour lines, 2-3 hour lines. They even have a fast track option for the Ferris wheel. And it's not like a regular Ferris wheel where they hold like 2 or 3 people. They can probably hold like 10 or 20 people.
In each cart?
Yeah.
Did you go on it?
No, because as I said, I was unable to. And then we went to our first park, Adventure Island in the UK.
Adventure Island in the UK.
So, KD, there's the map. Why don't you come closer to the computer and move it up and down so you can find out what the rides were? And then ask me if I did any of them, or if you're wondering what any of them were.
What rides did you go on, my friend?
Well, I went on the 5 coasters. I went on the 2 dark rides.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here are the rides. So yeah, are there any you want to know, or should I just tell you about the coasters and the rides I went on?
Tell me.
Well, first of all, we had ERT on Rage. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the Eurofighters that has a beyond 90-degree drop. And I was really worried about all Eurofighters on this ride because of Dollywood's Mystery Mine not pushing down restraints. And I was worried I was too big for them. But yeah, it goes upside down 3 times and it's smooth. You didn't have to do that. You could have just asked me what it was.
What is this ride?
That's the Vortex. It's a weird spinning ride. I think Busch Gardens Williamsburg has something like that.
They took that used to be at Busch Gardens Tampa, and they took it out.
No, that's not a scrambler. That's like a crazier model.
Yeah, they used to have that at Busch Gardens.
Okay.
Tampa.
So yeah, I rode that. I went in the greens. After that, I rode, I think it was Green Scream, which was next. I don't know what the best way to describe it is. It's just like a big family coaster. It's one of those big family coasters that has like a 30-car train. And I think you go around twice, which is pretty cool.
The map makes it look really small.
It is small. It's kind of like Indiana Beach, where half of it is built in a park and half of it is on a pier.
Okay, but based on all the rides like listed out here, it looks a heck of a lot
Compact,
bigger than what the map shows. The map doesn't do it justice, in my opinion.
Well, it's also a kind of cartoony map, but it works.
Okay.
Let's see, what else did I do?
Did you go in Spooksville?
Yes, I did. It's basically a corny indoor dark ride where in one scene you're in space. I have no idea what the theme was. But yeah, that was a good ride. It wasn't the best dark ride in the park though. But yeah, in this blue building, do you see it? The blue building right here?
Yeah, the blue building, yeah.
In there, do you remember like Discovery Zones and Leaps and Bounds and all of those things and like McDonald's play places?
Mm-hmm.
They had a huge version of that went all around.
Really?
Yeah, and if I had more time, I wish I could have done it, but
Looks like they have a lot of flats.
Mm-hmm. Um, the Barnstormer I rode by myself. And when I say I rode by myself, I mean I was the only person on that entire train. And I made a joke. I was like, I was the third best looking person on this train. Um, let's see, what else? Stop that. Kay and I also did Crooked House, which is, it's a typical walkthrough fun house where it's tilted. Kitty Costa, or Costa, I don't know how you say it. That's a standard kind of wacky worm style family coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mighty Mini Mega, which is an oxymoron, is a... I don't even know how I would describe it. It's kind of like maybe a next generation Galaxy Zyklon Wildcat.
Mm.
It's a lot more compact and very un-American restraints. Or very un-American seats where, this is going to be visual, which is going to be great for the one other person here. The seat, I would love it if it was like this. It was more of like this.
Okay, then.
So, yeah, I didn't sit fully back. And...
Seemed like very tight, then?
Yeah.
For our listeners who can't see, it was very tight.
It's probably like it's like having size 12 feet and wearing size 8 shoes.
Ooh.
Okay, size 10.
Pain.
Yeah. So, I did that. Let's see if I did this.
Drop it tomorrow?
Yeah, I want to see if I did that one. No, I didn't do that. There was another drop tower that I did. I'm trying to find it. No, it wasn't that one.
Skydrop?
No. I can't find it, but it's one of those tower rides where it lifts you up, but as it drops, it bounces like so. KD, look. It bounces like this, but it also spins as it goes up and down, which is wonderful. And then, one of the highlights of the park, the Adventureville.
Okay, what does Adventureville have?
This is weird. It's basically a standard dark ride, except it has roller coaster track. And I don't know what the story is, but there's a lot of like in-jokes and like really weird comic characters the first time you go around, and then the second time you go around, for no reason, they play disco rave music. And they blacklight the entire thing. So you hear like... So yeah, I did that. I did that twice. Just because it was like so much fun to do, and I had already ridden the coasters and stuff. I want to say that that's a coaster, but if people say that's not a coaster, I'm not going to necessarily argue with them. Because you're essentially on roller coaster track. You do go up a lift hill. It is powered by gravity, and it does have a drop. If people say that's a coaster, I'm not going to argue with them. If people say that's not a coaster, I'm not going to argue with them, but it looks like it was built as a coaster. And it was really weird and really cool. Then after that, then next, we went to Gulliver's in Milton Keynes. How would you say that? Keynes.
Keenies.
Sure.
That looks more like a map of a theme park.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Adventure Island, hands down, without even a minor thought, the nicest and best staff the entire trip.
Cool.
No offense to the other parks. No offense to the other parks, but Adventure Island. Nicest staff. Everyone was so enthusiastic and happy.
Okay, so
You don't
enthusiastic,
know-
helpful.
Yeah, you don't know who I'm going to talk about, but the coaster enthusiasts are. It's like if Dan Cook and Jeff Siebert, you took their enthusiasm and energy DNAs, and you put that into, and you were able to make that into human form. And then you cloned that for every single employee. Everyone was happy. Everyone was nice. Everyone was glad to work. Everyone was just, they were so enthused.
Cool.
This park.
Staff, the different story.
No, it's not that. It's. Do you know the story of Gulliver?
To an extent.
You know, like Gulliver's Travels?
Right.
What I found unique about this park is that I don't know if this is this park seems very influenced by Disney. Either Disney was influenced by this park or this park was influenced by Disney. It's one or the other.
When did it open?
I'm not sure. I'll put a link later. But yeah, you know, in the front of the park, there's a statue of a mouse which looks very similar to a certain character.
They've got Main Street. They've got a castle.
Yeah, but also, do you know how you get into the park? You walk underneath a train station.
Just like the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, so I was like, And while as in Mexico, they didn't tend to play a lot of American or English-speaking songs, except for La Feria, which was odd. This park had no problem playing American songs. Like, I think they played Monster Mash. I think they played What's New Scooby-Doo. I think they played Thriller. They played a whole bunch of, like, Halloween. They played a whole bunch of songs. And I was like, no copyright infringement here. And I also rode the 4 coasters. I would have ridden more, but we only had, like, maybe an hour or two at this park. So what did I ride? I rode the Twist and Joust, which you were talking earlier about how you rode Cobra's Curse.
Mm-hmm.
Think of Cobra's Curse if it was designed to be a compact carnival ride.
Okay.
That's what it's like. That one wasn't bad. Then after that, we rode the Python, which a lot of people realized this, and I realized it too. That was the exact same as Mini Mighty Mega at Adventure Island. I was like, this feels familiar.
Your deja vu. You were on this. You just experienced this.
Let's see, what else? There's another coaster somewhere. Oh, yeah. Then I went on the runaway train. As a Zamperla family coaster, I don't have good history with them. But this one is unique in that it has different style restraints, so I was able to ride it. I can't remember who gave me the tips on how to ride it, but thank you. You're in my heart.
Forever.
Yes.
Amen.
I don't know if they're religious. Then I rode, what did I ride next? I rode, the Silver Mine. This was weird. This and the other Gullivers, they're weird when it comes to their interactive dark rides. First of all, this one, I found it kind of interesting. At the end, they played Indiana Jones music. Dun 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 dun. Dun. You know what I'm talking about, folks. Do you want to try to do it?
No.
Okay. Nun 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 nun. Whatever. But what's weird about that interactive dark ride is that you do shoot at things, but you're not told what you're supposed to shoot at or why, and they don't keep score. There's no scoring. You just hit something, and then you hit something. That's it. And what's weird is that you can tell this is like a family park, right?
Yeah, you can. The map layout, you can see that
It's like the UK's version of Legoland or something.
Legoland meets Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Or Disney meets Legoland.
The dark ride says the word hell twice.
Okay.
It's like, come on, let's get the hell out of here. Come on, let's get the hell out of here. And I was like, what? What? I guess language is a little different. I don't know. I'll get into that later. And then, do you see this? Do you see that?
Or what's on top of the building?
What's on top of the building?
It looks like a dog.
It's a mouse.
Okay, a mouse.
This is something there were like maybe 23, 24 people in the group. Not even half of the people found out that there was a coaster here, because with this section completely like blocked off, you had to go through like this section to go to it, and it was completely hidden.
Was it a family coaster?
It was a weird coaster. It's called Crazy Mouse. And so you think it's going to be like the Dark Knight, right? Indoors? No. This, you go up a lift hill, then you take a curving drop, then you go underneath the lift hill, then you take a curve, and then you're back in the station. And you go around 3 times. The first time with bright lights on, the second time in darkness, and then the third time with lights back on.
And how was it?
I rode it.
I know. Was it odd?
It's interesting. I think at this park we also saw the parade, which full of characters. You copyright infringement. I think the Simpsons were a character. I think the Minions were a character. Just a whole bunch of weirdness. I think Popeye was a character. I think.
Hmm.
I talked to some people and I was like, are we at Universal Studios or Florida? But yeah, that was weird, and it was like not even 5 minutes long. It was just a bunch of people in costumes like this. Hey, and then the next person. Hey, and then so on. It was just odd. There's another dark ride that I was gonna do is called Gulliver's Travels. But when I found out about the Wild Mouse and that the park was gonna close in like 20 minutes, or that I only had 20 minutes, I was like, Mom, I'm not riding this dark ride. I'm going to the coaster. And this park had a, uh, probably a bad business idea where the indoor coaster, closes like 10 minutes before the park does. So when a lot of people heard about it, they immediately ran to it. And then the operator, I was on the last train in the last seat, or in the last row. And then when I got off the ride, he followed, and that's it. The ride was closed for the rest of the day. And it closes before the park closes. I'll leave it up to you which two letters I think of that excuse. So yeah, then we left that park, and then this park also has their own knockoff Build-A-Bear, and apparently in there, their own Legos.
Their own Legos. It is Legoland.
And then we went to the hotel, and then the next day we went to Flamingo Land. KD?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that. That's good. They got some pretty good coasters there.
It's a big park with coasters. I don't know if they were necessarily good coasters, but they were coasters. We got into the park, and the first ride that we had ERT on right here is called Hero, which is a tight, compact flying coaster. You've been to Coney Island recently, right?
A while back, but yeah,
What was the most recent year?
2007, 10 years ago.
I thought you went when it was Luna Park.
No.
Okay, whatever.
It was even before Zamperla got there.
You need to go back. It's happy and colorful.
So I hear.
So yeah, Hero is a small,
Hey, they have animals there.
yeah. I did not do any animals because this park had 8 coasters, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, people went on it, and again, no fear of copyright infringement. The coaster is a flying coaster where you're flying. They played the Superman theme song constantly. I heard it more at Flamingo Land than I've heard it in the history of Superman Ultimate Flight at Great America, and we were there opening day. But yeah, when I was about to go on with some other people, the ride broke down. So we got taken off that ride, and so we went to Mumbo Jumbo. Oh, God.
Hey, Mumbo Jumbo. Mumbo Italiano, ho, ho, ho.
Mumbo Jumbo, or Mumbo Jumbo, is is like Steel Hog at Indiana Beach or El Loco at the Adventure Dome. It's one of those. It's basically a looping crazy mouse from someone who. If you got the idea from someone who was in an insane asylum.
Really?
Yeah, outward banking turns, beyond vertical drops, a zero G roll while you're going down. Just weird, wacky, all around good fun.
Okay, then.
Then I went on Kumali, a Vekoma SLC. Ugh. But a new layout. So I was like, okay, why not? Not terrible. Not terrible. Thumbs up.
Bonus.
I rode a much rougher SLC, but we'll get to that later. Then after that, we went to this area because my mom needed to take care of, she needed to count to 10, if you know what I mean. And I had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom. But what's weird is that the sink bowls are themed to look like tires. It was cool. I was like, awesome. Then we went on this, which is Zoom. Very painful ride. Very small seats. But as someone who wants to ride roller coasters, so what with small seats? I would later regret that because both of my knees were like twisted like this. And this is a trend with most UK rides. This one, as well as the Mini Mighty Mega and the Python and like the Crazy Mouse, you go around multiple times. I did not know it. I did not know you went around twice for Zoom. So I didn't know. But on the second time, I was like, "Well, we're back in the station. I guess I'll save some seconds." So I unlocked my seatbelts, and then we went through. And I was like, "I better hold on." I'm sorry, I didn't know. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see what else. You see the small thing right here?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that. Dino Roller. It's basically a Big Apple, Wacky Worm style, Caterpillar rides. Then I went on... What is that? Then I went on Twistosaurus, which... Twistosaurus, how I would describe it is... Well, it's like that Twist and Joust that I went on at Gulliver's. And that one, again, you go around twice. It was a lot of fun. This is also where Kay rode her first non-dark ride. They have, what is it? Cyclosaur. Which, the way I can describe it is, you know how at Disney on the Dumbo ride, how if you pull a joystick you can go higher, and if you let it go you go down? That's essentially what this ride is, except you're on bicycles. You've been on ET, right? Yeah, you're essentially on bicycles, and if you pedal fast, you rise, 15, 20 feet maybe. And if you keep pedaling, you'll stay at that height But if you don't want to pedal anymore, then you slowly glide down. I was like, this looks cool. Kay, I think you can handle it.
And?
She handled it.
Good.
But I was like, proceed. Err on the side of caution. Do not overexert yourself. Do not use. Be safe on this ride. So yeah, she rode it and she had a lot of fun, and it was a good ride. I want more parks to get that. Let's see what else. There's this tiny coaster here. What is that called? The Go Gator, where it says children's only. And I was like, I don't think I could even put my foot on that in that coaster, so I'm not even gonna bother. So then, so we were here. Then we went back to the front of the park. Then I rode the Runaway Train. Exact same layout as Gulliver's, exact same restraints as Gulliver's, but this one was rougher. Noticeably. No idea why, it just was. Get off my back. I told you, get off my back. Stop thinking about it. I told you not to think about it. Then I went on this orange thing right here called Booster Bike. Wait, is that called Booster Bike? Let's see, 31. Velocity, I apologize. Booster Bike is the right time. But anyway, Velocity. A lot of people liked it. I probably would have liked it more had it not started snowing or hailing when I rode it. Because if you think riding a coaster at 40 miles an hour in the rain is painful, try 60 miles an hour when it's borderline hailing. It was fun. But to their credit, it was open. I've heard that ride is usually closed a lot, so I'm glad that it was open. Then I went back to Hero, and I was like, I really hope I get to ride Hero because I live a few miles from England. So it's not just hey, come on, let's drive there tomorrow. We would die. And guess what?
What?
The ride broke down when I was in line.
Imagine that.
But then it reopened and I got to ride it. It was a Zamperla flying coaster. Then we had some free time, so I got a magnet, and we went to not there, but I think we went to like this building here. The Zanzibar food market in the front of the park. And there, basically, I got one of those like meatball sub sandwiches, and yeah, that was about it. I got that. I had them heated up and turned into a panini. That wasn't that bad. It was like $3.50. And what I really enjoy about, I don't know if it's all UK parks or if it was just that one, they include tax with price.
So what you pay is the final price.
Yeah, and it's rounded to like something understandable.
Years ago, didn't didn't Six Flags do that? But then they went back to just the base price.
Don't ask me to explain that. So as opposed to like it being $13.99 plus $237, and then you're like, this one was like $350. I was like, how much does that include tax? I was like, yeah. Or no, I paid. I got the Pepsi bottle because Kay loves Pepsi, and I got the sandwich, and he was like, okay, that's $5.50, and I was like, oh wow, you include tax with the price? Thumbs up. I was like, I'm a dumb American. Can you let me know when I've paid you $5.50? Because as opposed to the U.S. where we have $1 bills, they have dollar coins.
We used to have that years ago.
I've got a few upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we ate there. That was about it. Then we were just kind of waiting around for the group to meet up before we went to our next location. And what I loved about this group was that everyone was helping each other. No one was like being a I'm too good for you. No one was being like a I hate you. Everyone was helping each other. I saw Drew and uh his girl when I was at Zoom, and I like waved at him, and I was like, hey, Drew, there's the Zoom ride right there. And he was wondering where, and at Gulliver's, who was wondering where the runaway mine train was, and I was like, you pretty much just walk around the perimeter of the log flume, you'll hit it right there. And he was like, awesome, thanks. And I was like, no problem. I think that was about it. What? Okay, on to the next park. Can we do one more park and then we'll do a part 2?
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, then I went to Lightwater Valley. This park is famous for the... What this park is famous for is the Ultimate, which for a while was the world's longest roller coaster. But yeah, they have Jurassic Adventure Golf. Oh, by the way, at Flamingo Land and at this park, animatronic dinosaurs that worked.
Really?
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah. I did not have fun. I'll get into it at this park. This park has a lot of coasters. They have 5. They also have a lot of quirky attractions. They don't necessarily have that many great attractions, in my opinion. So I'm gonna burst a few bubbles. This mouse here, Spinning Wild Mouse, it was good, painful. Their strength was like here, and it was like punching you for like 2 solid minutes, and I was like, I'm not riding that for ERT. Then after that, we went to Lady Bird, I believe. That was a little surprisingly painful, and I was honestly amazed that it was like that. Right here. Then I rode this caterpillar ride. This was weird. Okay, they have seat belts and they have lap bars. Apparently the seatbelts are only for children, and since I wasn't able to fit because it didn't even like go halfway, she was like, you don't need a seatbelt, you'll be fine. And then when I was like pushing down the lap bar, I was like, okay, pushing it down, good.
Then it came back up. So you have had a lot of movement.
It wasn't locking.
Mm.
And she was like, "You'll be fine."
Break a leg. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Never have I held onto a roller coaster for fear of my death more than that coaster.
That's saying something.
Then I went, I think it was here. I rode Raptor Attack. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of a galaxy style coaster, but it was completely in the dark. However, there's some light pollution. You can tell they haven't patched up every section of the every section as you could see lights. And the ride, I'm sorry, handicapped people, you're going to have trouble going into and out of this ride because you walk underground in this queue line where essentially you walk into a sewer area, and I'm not making this up. You have to actually crouch a distance. You have to crouch a few feet in order to ride it.
Mm.
And then going back out, and then the exit, you have to walk up a few flights of stairs. They don't have an elevator unless they hit it really well. And again, you walk through a sewer. You walk through a sewer hole because the ride was originally themed to a sewer rat. Yeah.
Joe.
We did the anti cars where I essentially drove K.
Okay.
So that was my driving contribution on this trip. Even though they were powered. Then I've got two more things. The Ultimate and the, what are those called? skate carts. Oh boy. Ugh.
Skate carts? What do you mean by skate?
I'll get to that. Trust me. I rode the Ultimate. Oh boy. It's fun at the beginning. The first part, if you've ever seen videos, if it looks action packed and intense, and bang, 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 it is. The seats, again, are not designed for Americans. They are designed for anorexic Europeans. I brought up Twiggy several times on this trip. For you people that are young, Twiggy was a British model who was very thin. Hence her name, Twiggy. And she's about the only really thin British person I know because I'm a dumb American. Who was I supposed to say? Minnie Driver? I don't know. Anyway. This ride, it has a lift, a big lift, and then you drop, and then it's kind of like American Eagle, where they have two or three short camelback hills. And those are fine. You get a little bit of float, not a lot. And then you go up your second lift. And then you go down the drop. And that's when the Ultimate stops playing nice to me. Every single turn is very intense, very forceful. Pretty much everything is, you go up, you do a U-turn, you go down. You go up, you do a U-turn, you go down. You go up, you do a U-turn, you go down. And it's like that. At the end of the ride, I was like, I'm not riding this again for ERT. And when I said it to people, I was like, was it just me or was this ride kind of painful? And they were like, it was. And I was like, did you know the ride originally had over-the-shoulder restraints? And they're like, oh, God. Because, I don't know. Imagine the Boss if it had over-the-shoulder restraints. And non-American seats. And then, what was it called? Skate carts? Oh boy. This I did for Ultimate, and I think it might have affected Ultimate for me. Do you see my knee?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like?
There's a gouge out of your knee.
Look at my palms. Does it look like anything?
No.
Okay, then the road rash, I got rid of it. Previously there were a lot of bumps in it. There were a lot of bumps, you could see where I kind of bumped veins and stuff and blood vessels. This ride is fine, but it needs adult seats. What it is it's about the size of... It has a seat smaller than this laptop. And basically, it's kind of like an alpine coaster, except it's on a go-kart track, so you kind of have to maneuver yourself in a certain angle to get it to curve. There were 3 or 4 of us that wanted to try to do it. One of them was I've got bad knees and I'm kind of old, so I'm not going to. And I was like, well,